there's much protein in candy. Okay. Who's eating like 5 heads of broccoli? No one. Hey guys, it's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another Vegan Talks video, yay! Today is part 2 of unpopular vegan opinions. Yes, so I did part 1 maybe a few months ago and a lot of you guys seem to enjoy it. I'll link that down below if you haven't watched it yet. And today I thought I would continue this. I don't even know if these are unpopular. I think I said that in the last video as well, but I mean, just watch it, okay? All right, we're just gonna jump straight into this video. Now, my first unpopular vegan opinion is that yes, you can be an ex-vegan. I don't know if I ranted about this before. Maybe I did in like a mukbang, but I know not all of you guys watch my mukbangs, okay? Anyways, I did mention this before, I'm pretty sure in a mukbang, but basically whenever somebody, like especially like a public figure, okay, an influencer goes ex-vegan, like quits veganism, the first thing a lot of people will say is, they were never vegan. She was never vegan. He was never vegan.
Vegans don't ever quit veganism because if you're vegan for life. Otherwise, if you ever quit, you're never vegan.
So the argument is that because veganism is an ethical philosophy, and once you made that ethical connection, you can't really undo that ethical connection, and therefore, if you've made that ethical connection, you will obviously be vegan forever, for the rest of your life. So if you quit at any point, that means you never actually truly made that ethical connection, therefore you were never vegan. That is the argument. And I'm like, ooh, hold on. Basically, I'm of the opinion that yes, you can be an ex-vegan. The thing is, I understand in certain circumstances, I feel like there are certain individuals that will say that they were vegan and really, realistically, they were just following a plant-based diet. Now, there is a distinction and I do understand that distinction. I think it is important to tell people of the distinction. There is plant-based diet and then there's vegan. These are two separate things. And yes, every vegan follows a plant-based diet, but not every plant-based dieter is a vegan. That is something that is important to distinguish. However, just because somebody quit veganism does not necessarily mean they were never vegan in the first place. There are certain circumstances, yes, they may have called themselves vegan, but they were just following a plant-based diet and they hadn't actually made any sort of ethical connection. But there are still some circumstances, albeit less than, plant-based dieters, but there are certain vegans that do quit veganism after being an ethical vegan, okay? Whew, I feel like I have to do a lot of explaining in this video. So basically, it makes me cringe a little bit whenever somebody quits veganism and everyone jumps on the she was never vegan bandwagon. We almost lose an opportunity to actually have a real discussion. So instead, we just throw somebody under the bus and just say, you were never actually vegan, even though for years, they were following a vegan lifestyle. There are people that have been publicly very ethically vegan, maybe went to animal rights marches, maybe went into a slaughterhouse, joined in on animal rights activism. And for us to just look at them after years of them being vegan in every sense of the word, and just because they quit, all of a sudden they were never vegan. So none of those years count. What I'm saying is let's have an intellectual, real conversation as to why people quit veganism. So let's talk about why people quit veganism. Okay. Now, what I actually think happens quite often, and I'm not talking about people that never made the ethical connection, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. What I actually think is that, first of all, yes, your ethics can change. Not that your ethics can change, but you can adjust to whatever. Okay? We are human. We are flawed by nature. We are messed up by nature. And we have seen time and time again people doing really unethical things under social pressure or because of whatever circumstance. It doesn't mean that they necessarily think it's the right thing to do. It doesn't mean that they necessarily are bad people. When we live in a world that is 99.9% not vegan, it's a challenge to constantly be vegan. I think it is a challenge, even if you've made some sort of ethical connection. It is complicated, okay, essentially is what I'm saying. Just because somebody is vegan once does not mean that they will be vegan forever, and that is the unfortunate reality of the situation. And maybe people say, the whole they were never vegan to make themselves feel better because the real vegans will never quit. The real vegans will just be vegan for life. And unfortunately, and I'm not saying I'm quitting veganism, okay? I'm just saying let's just look at humanity, let's look at human nature, and let's be honest with ourselves. Another argument that people make is that, you know, you can't be like what is it? You can't be X like anti-racist or something like that. You can't be like X anti-racist because once you're like not racist anymore, you're just like not racist ever. And I'm like, that's not necessarily true. Like, where's the evidence? I'm sure that if somebody grew up in a world that was very anti-racist and then you put them in a world that is very racist, then they might adjust to that world and become super fucking racist. Who knows, right? I'm just saying, just because you develop some sort of philosophy, ethical mindset, doesn't necessarily mean that's gonna stick with you forever. Like, that is just the reality of the situation. And to believe otherwise is to believe that human beings are somehow just like really moral creatures, which we are not. Even if you're vegan, okay, like, okay. Anyways, moving on. Okay, so I think this is a less unpopular opinion now in today's day and age, but I remember when I was first kind of delving into like vegan YouTube, this was a huge argument made by vegans. And I still see a lot of vegans making this argument, which is why I'm mentioning this, but it is that no, there isn't protein in everything. And yes, protein is important. I feel like now I'm just ranting about things that people say that bother me, but anyways, okay. So one thing that a lot of people say, and I'm glad that less people are, you know, saying this now, but I still hear it from time to time, which is there is protein in all plant foods, there's protein in everything, therefore you don't need to worry about protein, just don't worry about protein, just like, it's fine. And I know I've talked about this before, but guys, remember that not everyone watches all my videos, okay? So I need to talk about it again. No, there isn't protein in everything. For example, in olive oil, there is no protein, it is just fat. So no, that is already a lie to begin with. There isn't protein in everything. And also, just because there is protein in plant foods doesn't mean there is sufficient protein in all plant foods. And I'm not saying that you have to be like super militant and worry so much about protein, but you do have to be, you know, just aware of what has protein. Like, I ranted about this in my last unpopular vegan opinions video, where basically I talk about how mushroom and cauliflower and eggplant, these are not substitutes for meat. And the reason why I say this, even though I love all those ingredients, is that these are very low in calories and are not really like protein sufficient, but are often used in vegan recipes to like replace the protein aspect and replace the meat, which contains a lot more calories, which contains a lot more protein and fat, therefore making the vegan meal much lower in calories and protein and fat, therefore making you hungrier as a result. And I think a lot of people just have this misconception that as long as they eat enough calories, everything will be fine. And I'm not saying you're gonna die of deficiencies or anything, but one of the things that I had to learn myself as a vegan, even though everyone was telling me like, oh, as long as you eat enough calories, like you'll get enough protein, that's not true. You could literally eat calories in candy. I don't think there's much protein in candy. What I'm saying is just be aware of the fact that yes, vegetables and fruits do have protein, but almost like negligible amounts. Like fruit, I don't even know how much protein fruit has, probably very, very, very little. And also vegetables, yes, vegetables are actually pretty high in protein compared to the calories. But the problem with vegetables being high in protein is that how many vegetables do you have to eat to get like, I don't know, 10 grams of protein? Like a lot of vegetables. You might as well just eat some beans, some tofu, some tempeh, some lentils, you know, other items, other plant-based foods that are not only really healthy for you, but also have sufficient protein to keep you satiated, to keep you satisfied, and to keep you on the vegan diet for longer. Because if you're hungry all the time, you're probably not gonna wanna stay on a certain diet, okay? So yeah, like one meme that used to really bother me, and I'm pretty sure this still is like, I'm sure that it's still going around on the internet. It was like a picture of like a steak and like a picture of broccoli, and it was like comparing the amount of protein per 100 grams or something like that. And broccoli is actually higher in protein when you compare gram by gram. But like, how much broccoli could you possibly eat? You know, it's like, you can't really make that kind of comparison. And I'm not saying meat is superior or anything, but I'm just saying like, why can't you just compare with like beans or something? Like, why broccoli? Like, who's eating like 5 heads of broccoli? No one, okay? Anyways. Okay, sorry if the lighting is all over the place. I feel like it keeps changing and I don't know, I'm having a hard time. Anyways, my next unpopular vegan opinion is that militant vegans and vegan extremists are necessary. So let me just explain myself. So everyone has a different opinion about what's like militant or extreme or, you know, crazy vegan versus not crazy vegan. And one of the things that I used to pride myself on when I first started YouTube, which was like 5 years ago. Oh my God. When I first started YouTube, one of the comments that I got a lot of was that, oh, you're just, you know, I'm so happy that you're just like a normal vegan. Like you are just a normal person that happens to be vegan and you're not like one of those crazy vegans. And I used to like pride myself on that. I used to be like, oh yes, I'm just normal. Like I'm just sitting here, just doing my thing, you know, and I just happen to be vegan. Like I'm fine, like I'm cool. And I'm not saying that it's not a good thing to have, you know, people like me as well, normal vegans. People like me are necessary too because, you know, people need to be able to relate to people and a lot of people, most people actually want to fit in with society, you know what I mean? So they need to have people they can relate to so they can be like, okay, that person's like normal. So that means if I go vegan, I'm not gonna be like super crazy and whatever. But at the same time, militant, okay, I don't want to say militant, like what is it? Like vegan activists, vegan extremists as society would call them, like animal rights activists that are a little bit, you know, in your face. I do think they are kind of necessary and also like, you know, we shouldn't be so quick to judge them or demonize them, anything like that. And I actually find them quite admirable. These people that, you know, society might deem as extreme. I find them quite admirable because I see them and they just like embody this like no f***s given type of mentality where they don't really care what other people think and they just fight for the cause no matter what. And I find that very admirable in a lot of ways because they're not really like seeking social approval. Whereas, you know, people like me, I still seek social approval, right? And I'm not saying everything they do is like, you know, strategically the right thing to do necessarily, but there is something admirable about what they do and like the fact that they just like don't care and they'll just like march into a grocery store and just like yell at everybody and like picket signs outside of like McDonald's, and I'm just like, oh my God, I could never do that. But also I'm like, oh, you're kind of cool at the same time. Like, I don't know, am I the only one? I think one thing that like really shifted my perspective, I watched a movie recently. It was maybe not recently, maybe it was like last year. Oh my God, it was like pre-pandemic. Did anything happen pre-pandemic? I don't even know. I went to a screening for a movie called Animal People, and it was produced by Joaquin Phoenix, and it's like a documentary. I'm gonna totally not get this right, but basically it's about a group of animal rights activists from like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 or maybe 20 years ago, I don't know. And they were college students, I believe, and they were very like out there and very heavily participating in animal rights activism, specifically against a certain company, I believe, that was conducting extreme animal testing. And at that time especially, this was like back in the day when veganism wasn't even really a thing. No one probably even knew what veganism was. And they were just so out there and so just not giving a fuck. And I think some of them went to jail. No, in fact, I know some of them went to jail because they were so out there and they were fighting. They were breaking into labs and like doing all kinds of stuff, like getting undercover footage. Yeah, some of them went to jail. And I was like, oh my God, like imagine being that dedicated and selfless. I feel like it's very selfless. And of course, you know, they're college students. I'm sure that has an impact. You're a little bit more, I don't know, like rebellious. You want to go against the status quo, like all that stuff. I get it. Okay, they're college students. But at the same time, it's like, you know, that's pretty crazy. And then one thing I realized, I don't know when I realized this, but especially when I watched this movie, I realized that like that kind of like extreme energy is what actually drives the movement forward. Because the thing is, if these people did not exist, like if people were all kind of like me, you know, just like chilling, living a normal life and, you know, just happens to be vegan, then I probably would have never gone vegan because I would not have seen the footage. You know, who takes the footage? You know what I mean? Like, who's the one going into the slaughterhouses, going into the labs, and risking their own livelihood, potentially risking their freedom because they might go to jail? It's these extremists that are doing these things, and without these extremists, we would not have, like, half the footage that we have from these slaughterhouses, and it would be much harder to advocate for animals, it'd be much harder to get people to see what goes on. Even though, a lot of people judge these people, they're actually really necessary for this movement, A lot of people will be like, oh my God, like, I don't want to be associated with these like extreme vegans. But at the same time, a lot of times they went vegan because they watched a video that was filmed by one of those extreme vegans. So I don't know, that just came to my mind. I think especially when I was watching that movie, because I was like, oh my God, like these people they're just like, they don't give a fuck. They're very selfless. Like, to go to jail to fight for somebody else, fight for these animal rights, like, to me that was just so crazy, but in like a good way, So yeah, they're definitely necessary for the movement, as much as, a lot of people don't want to admit it, because obviously a lot of society will think, oh, they're just a bunch of delinquents. They're just a bunch of, outcasts of society. So it doesn't look good to a lot of people, but at the same time, it is necessary so that we get the information out there, and also to kind of like drive a movement forward, because it's these people that are going to take those risks, these people that are going to actually really advocate for the change. What is that saying? Like, was it by Gandhi? It's like, at first they laugh at you, at first, that, that quote, So yeah, they're necessary is what I'm saying. Okay, militant veganism, again, kind of necessary, kind of important. Continue the fight. Let's go. So anyways, does that make sense? I don't even know. Don't forget, guys, if you want to watch the first unpopular vegan opinions video, I'll link it down below, so watch it. Let me know if you want any other type of vegan talks video. If you want my opinion on something, let me know. Maybe I'll do a video on it. I do enjoy these videos, like I always say, but I don't do them as often. But I would like to. I always want to do more of these videos. If you have any thoughts, leave them down below. You guys always have some great insights, so leave them below. Leave your unpopular vegan opinions below as well. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, of course, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!